what exactly the Wim Hof method is, and can you just simplify it for us?
Okay, so the Wim Hof method is comprised of three pillars. So it's cold exposure. Most people see it as an ice bath, and everything like that. But cold exposure can be done in other ways, so it's not just ice baths. Breathing technique. So breathing technique is a very unique one, in my opinion, because it sort of has controlled hyperventilation, if you like, and then you go into an exhalation and a retention where you don't do any breathing. So internally, there's a lot of things going on in the body, which changes your body's alkalinity, and all sorts happen as well. So you really feel some positive effects from that. And then the third pillar is commitment. So commitment could be, I mean, it was chosen because it could be anything you like. So it's commitment to go into the cold water because it takes a lot of mind connection, mind challenge, commitment to do the whole practice, commitment to do the breathing when in the rounds. It can be whatever you wish, or it could be like the mastery of the Wim Hof, which is commitment to learn inwardly and then to sort of expand your practice. So it's a beautiful method where you can learn the fundamentals and then take it where you want to take it.
And it sounds, I mean, you've simplified it really well there into just three steps. But I think from watching a lot of, obviously there's a well-documented Vice documentary on Wim Hof, and, obviously you've got a really good Instagram account which shows what you do in Cumbria all the time. So I guess the first question I'd like to ask, Emma, is, I mean, it all sounds so simple. Why isn't everybody doing it?
It's simple, but powerful, or it's a simple technique, I got to admit, but it takes a lot of I wouldn't say mindset or determination. I don't think that's the case. I think it actually pulls on a different side to you, where you have to embrace, be open, be free of the mind, and just kind of that whole cliche, what will be, like, just accept the cold. I feel it kind of challenges you in a different way that you perhaps didn't know was possible. Like, Wim says feeling is understanding, and once you've done the breathing and done the cold, and you have your mind expanded to what can be done, or what you have done to your body, there's no real going back. So why don't people do it? I think it's quite niche, because when I first heard of Wim as a stuntman, many years ago, I was just like, why would you do that? That's just ridiculous. Why would you sit in a cold bath for 2 hours? And I was very much like, yeah, see you later. But it was actually when I heard his story on the podcast in 2016 that his story resonated with me, where nature healed him, because of what happened to his wife, committed suicide, and he was left as a single parent. So nature he really found some deep answers in nature. So, and I really respected that, because at the time that I was searching or looking for another way, I also had a bit of a burnout, so to speak. So I was also looking for another way, and I was living in Cumbria, so I went into the mountains here and was doing a lot of fell walking, and hadn't switched to cold water then, but I was going into nature for my answers as well. So I resonated with Wim on a personal level, as opposed to, yeah, I want to be the Iceman and I want to do it, and then go, oh, actually, no, it's absolutely cold, and go the other way. So that my reason for doing it, I had a very strong why. So, and I think you need to connect to your why to really be to be drawn into it, and to see how it works for you. So.
And if you don't mind me asking, Emma, what was your why?
Well, I thought I was happy, had everything that I wanted in life: boyfriend, house, career, and then literally all three of them went in a space of a couple of weeks, and then I went home to a bit of TLC from my mum. I'm adopted, and I actually blew up at her about my adoption, something I've never really raised before, so aggressively and so angrily. It was very venomous what was coming out of my mouth, and even I didn't recognize it, but I was obviously needed that outburst. And unfortunately, or fortunately, tough love, I ended up waking up in a police holding cell. And it was at that time where I was on my own and really thought I was a world orphan. I got myself here and I really didn't like the person I was. So for me, when I went back up to Cumbria, I was definitely compelled to change, because my head was just full of shame and anger and resentment. And they were all very, very low vibrations. And so in a way, something's good come out of it, because it I was led to kind of like, is this true? Is this not true in my life? Because I felt there was a lot of things that I'd done, and I just wasn't sure anymore, because I thought I was living a good life and law abiding and doing all these things, and it was a hard shock to have that on me. So I was looking for another way, and the Wim Hof actually, he says that you can tap into your innate immune system, and I was like, no, we were told it was autonomic, and you can't do it, you can't possibly change your heartbeat. So I was just listening to him even more, and he says, yeah, you can do it. Like, he shouts when he's like, yeah, you can do it, you can do these do these press ups, yeah, and then do some breathing, do the press ups. So I was like, okay. So whilst the podcast is going on, I was doing these press ups, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the results that I managed to influence my cellular breathing at will. And that to me was just a light bulb moment. I was just like, my first thought was like, what else is the world not telling me that I can and cannot do? So that was where my journey started. That I just knew I had to meet the guy and find out a little bit more. So so he opened my eyes to another way, which was very agreeable for me at the time. So the pain that I was feeling, the emotional pain, the cold water really helped me stop thinking about the pain and just brought me back into the present moment. And when you're in the present moment and you do less thinking, because you can't really think about much when you're in the cold, it kind of rechanges and resets your future thoughts, if you like. So I got a lot of positivity out from the water. And as for the breathing, it just took me into another time and place. You can go deep into your body and feel, as Wim says, feeling is understanding. And it was just a really nice combination of reprogramming my conditioned mind. And then every time I come out from the breathing, I was very much lighter, if you like. And I felt that there was a few things clicking into place that was just a better way to be. So